Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unpontificated. My name is Vuyo. A little bit of a different one today. Usually I talk about matters of Canadian politics. This time I wanted to talk about a article that I read, and I just wanted to make a commentary on it. Here's the article. Here's the article. It's by Temple University. Now, it was written in May 1723 when Halle Bailey was being cast as Ariel, the Little Mermaid. Halle Bailey is a young Black actress, and she was going to be this mermaid. Of course, as you have racists coming out with the insults, because Ariel is a white mermaid, why is this Black character, Black lady, Black young lady taking the role? Now, let me just say, personally, I have no issue with fictional characters being taken on by different races. Halle Bailey taking on Ariel, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with Denzel Washington taking on Robert McCall in the Equalizer series. Robert McCall is a white justice fighter. What is he? Not really a vigilante, but anyway. And Denzel Washington has done a great job as Robert McCall in the Equalizer series, and so I have no problem with that. And even recently, we had this young actor named Aaron Pierre. Aaron Pierre is a Black British actor, and he's being touted as a possible next James Bond. Again, Black actor, white character, James Bond. Again, I have no problem with fictional characters being taken on by different races. Now I'm going to digress a little bit because I think the reverse is not always true. Can a white person take on a Black iconic role character? Again, fictional. I think there'd be a huge hue and cry if you did that. Like, for example, I grew up in the 70s, so I've got these roles like his Shaft. Shaft has been played by Richard Roundtree, who was the original guy. And of course, Samuel Jackson took on the role. But imagine if Shaft was played by, Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, that'd be a huge hue and cry. Again, Cleopatrajones, 1970s action crime, Black actress, Tamara Dobson. We loved those movies growing up. Imagine if, hey, Scarlett Johansson, she's done some fighting roles. Imagine if she played Cleopatra Jones. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just, yeah, I think that would be a no. Those hours. But anyway, so again, I have no problem. Fictional characters, good. Of course, real characters. You cannot have, Leonardo DiCaprio playing Nelson Mandela, or even, I don't think you could have Denzel Washington playing Winston Churchill. That'd just be stupid. That'd just be just ridiculous. But fictional, okay. I have no problem with that. Other people may have a problem with that. I don't. However, this article, let me bring it up. Where we at? So this article goes on to state, part of child development is establishing your sense of self and identity in the world. One way we do that is measuring ourselves in relation to our surroundings. There's no more prevalent a mirror to that than the media children are exposed to. From a very young age, children understand that having a presence in the media affirms your importance in the world. When it's not there, it takes away that opportunity for affirmation. Children will feel they can't be things they can't see. I think maybe in America, in some parts of the world, this may be true with the breakdown of the family unit, especially in Black families raised by single mothers, absent fathers, things like that. But just remember growing up myself, growing up again in the 70s and 80s, I had strong role models from my own father to my uncles, um, to my coaches, rugby coach, teachers, things like that. Real three-dimensional role models. That's what I had. So when I went to the movies to watch these, movies like Shaft, or even the Sidney Poitier, Billcosby movies, what was that one called again? There was one, I'm going to look it up. A Piece of the Action. Yeah, A Piece of the Action. Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby did some comedic roles together, and they're really funny and really good. And we loved them when they came out. It was really good. And but I didn't go there and then get my sense of self-worth from these movies. When my dad encouraged me, said he was proud of me. When I watched my uncles, just a bit of a history, my family history. We come from South Africa. My parents, my uncles, my grandparents grew up in apartheid South Africa. I did not. My parents left South Africa, and I grew up in Botswana and in Kenya. My teenage years were spent in Kenya before we moved to Canada. So apartheid, the effects of apartheid, the story of apartheid was very prevalent in my family. And listening to my parents and their friends talk, I learned a lot about the effects of apartheid amongst Black people in South Africa. That being said, my dad was a civil engineer, an environmental engineer. I grew up with uncles who were doctors, lawyers, teachers. So as a boy, a young boy, I had strong role models. And these were the ones I looked up to, who answered my questions, who encouraged me, watching them, seeing them, talking to them. Not Sidney Poitier, not Shaft, not some guy on a screen. I didn't get my sense of self, my importance in the world from them. Absolutely, no, I didn't. So but I do see the point that these writers on this temple article are saying, because if you don't have that strong role model, then where are you going to get your sense of worth from? It's going to be from the media. It's and really, that's a sad thing. I mean, you just see some of these role models that have just fallen by the wayside. P. Diddy. People may have looked up to him for what he did for the music world industry, and now look at it. R. Kelly. I mean, Bill Cosby, who we grew up watching, and now, what he did. These are people who will fall. And I'm not saying that our real role models, my dad, my uncles, can't fall as well. They can, but at least in my case, they didn't. But they're real. At least with them, if they fall, it's a real thing. We can understand what's happening, what happened. It's real, and they're living real lives. So that's what I guess that's my point. My point is, if we want to appropriate as Black people, take on these white roles, these James Bond roles, and all this stuff. Okay, but can we please not look to James Bond, Black or white, as our role model, as a person to look up to, as the person to give us a sense of self-worth? It's not. He's not. Right? He's just a fictional character out there. And the other thing, and we've done this before, like I said, with the Shaft, cleopatrajones, can we just create our own James Bond? Can we create our own Robert McCall? Black Panther was great. Yeah, let's keep that going. But let's create our own roles. Actually, I'm actually trying to do that myself. And if you guys, I'm gonna do a little self-promotion. Books I'm writing or I've written. This is my own little books. This one is I don't know if you guys see that. There I am. This is a character. This is a teenage book. Son, let me out. Help me out. Help me out. Escape to Goma. It was the first one I wrote. And then this is, here they are. This is the second one. Escaping the Future. Oh, here's my name. There's my name. Woo! This is the third one. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's the third one right here. All right. These are my own blank characters that I'm creating. Tola Matthews. His name is Tola Matthews. Anyway, there you go. So I'm creating my own black characters. So on Amazon, help me out. Anyway, that's not the point of this. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's not the point. Actually, I should have this up here. Here you have advertising. There you go. Woo! Anyway, okay. Anyway, so that's the point. What's my point? Summarize. Oh, by the way, guys, please like and subscribe. And also comment. Let me know what you think. So this is just a little short episode commentary on this article that I wrote and article that I read regarding let's, one, not look to fictional characters for our self-worth. We have role models in the real world. Let's look to them for our self-worth. Find a mentor, be a mentor. We create stronger family units, please. Mothers, fathers getting married, having kids, fathers staying, mothers staying. That would be the key, I think, to not regarding these fictional characters as our role models, because they will just let us down eventually. Well, maybe not. Fictional characters, I guess, sometimes they don't let us down because they're just fictional, but they're not our role models. They're not real. They're not real. And let's create our own. Black people, let's create our own great characters, media characters. And I think we're doing some of that. You're seeing a bit of that. Not appropriate white ones, creating our own. And that would be awesome. All right. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for listening. Like and subscribe. Ciao.